Hello beautiful people, how are you all doing? Happy New Year once again. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing us how I cut and sew this beautiful gown I'm wearing in this video. This is a 2.5 years of thick Duchess fabrics by 60 length. So sorry, I promised I was going to post this video immediately after New Year, but because of so many programs I ended up losing my voice. I'm so sorry about that. Thank God I have it back. So let's quickly get started. So I'm cutting this with my lining and I folded it once. So I'll be taking all my vertical measurements first. So the first line is my neck depth, the second is my chest line as usual, the third is my bust points, followed by my under bust and my half length. So I'm cutting the upper part of this dress first. So the length of my upper part is 17.5 inches. So I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 8 inches divided by 2, and that will give me 4 inches. So I added half an inch for sewing allowance. So I ruled a line. So I'm taking that of 1.5 inches for the both sides, 1.5 out and 1.5 in. So from my bust point I came down by 1 inch and I went up by 0.75 inch, that is 3/4 inch. So the next thing I did was to take my shoulder measurement, which is 16 inches divided by 2, and that gave me 8 inches. So I took the same measurement on my chest line and I connected the line. So I divided my armhole line into 2. That gave me about 4 inches. So I came down by 1 inch. That's my armhole darts. I came down by 1 inch from the midpoint and went up by 1 inch again. You already know how I do this. So I'll connect my darts. Then I would create my princess dart curve from the both sides, from both the side front and the center front. So I'll go ahead and take my bust measurement, that's my horizontal measurement. Don't forget to replace your darts, that's whatever that you are cutting out. Don't forget to replace it whenever you are taking your horizontal measurement. So I came down from my shoulder by 0.75 inch, and that will serve as my shoulder slope. So I connected it to the neck line. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I'm going to use the lining to cut out for the main fabrics. You already know why I don't cut with my main fabrics, because I don't want the chalk on my dress. So it's very simple, but in case it's a dress that doesn't have a lining, you can always cut it with the wrong side of the fabrics. So I'll go ahead and take the back part measurements. Don't forget, I'm cutting the upper part of my dress first. So my chest line is 8 inches and the length of the back part is 16 inches. So I'll go ahead and take my shoulder measurement, which is 9 because I have to add my zip allowance to it. So my shoulder, I took 3 by 3 for the front part, and the back part I took 3 by 1 inch. That is 1 inch depth and 3 inches width. That's for my back, while the front is 3 inches depth and 3 inches width. You know, the dress is a turtleneck with a keyhole. So I'll go ahead and create my zip allowance line. So this will serve as my zip allowance. So I'll take my nipple to nipple measurements, which is 4 inches plus half an inch for sewing allowance. So I'll go ahead and rule a line. So I'll take my back dart measurement, which is half an inch for the both sides. So I'll go ahead and connect it to the like 1.5 inch below the chest line. So I divided my armhole line into 2. From the midpoint, I connected my princess dart line. So I came down by 3/4 inch for my shoulder slope, just like I did at the front part. So I'll go ahead and cut. It's very simple. So I'll also use this to cut out for the main fabrics. I'm not using any breast pad or hairstay on this dress because it's a Duchess material. So I don't want it to squeeze. So when it has to do with my satin, Duchess and all those fabrics, I normally don't add hairstay to it because I want my dress to look smooth. So I'll go ahead and cut the down parts. I folded my fabrics once. So my hip line, that is from my waistline to my hip, is 9 inches. And the length of the down part of my dress is 42 inches. That is the skirt part. So from my waist to my hip is 9 inches. And from my waist to my nail is about 22 inches, but I will come up by 20 inches. So that's where that's where I'm going to place my nail measurement. You know, it's a straight cut skirt. It's a straight cut gown. So I'll go ahead and take my horizontal measurement for my waist. Then I'll add 2 inches for both sewing allowance and for my darts. I'll take my hip measurements, my hip circumference. I'll also add 2 inches for sewing allowance. So whatever I have around my hip, I will remove 1.5 inches from it. That will be my round nail measurement, my nail circumference. So I will take the same measurement at the down part of my dress. So if you want the down part to be very pencil, you can remove 2 inches from whatever you have around your hip. But for my own, I remove 1.5 inches. So from my hip line, I came down by 2 inches again, because you know my hip is not just at one place. So I have to take the same measurement around the 2 inches that I came down from my hip. Just look at the shape, how it is. It's not pointy, it's just very relaxed. So I will connect it to the down parts of my dress. Can you see that? Can you see how it's looking? So this is how you go about your, even when you are cutting your pencil skirts. This is it. So I'll go ahead and take my darts. So the length of my dart is 5 inches. That is just like your nipple to nipple, but here I'm not adding any sewing allowance to it. So I'll connect it. So this is the front part of the skirt, the down part of my dress. So I'll go ahead and cut the back part with this front part. So the difference is just going to be the zip allowance. I'll place it on top of the back part, then I'll use it to cut it. So this is the back parts. I'll place it on top. So I'll cut it. So I will slash the zip allowance open. So this is it. I will also use it to cut the main fabrics. So that right there is my zip allowance. I will make a notch so that I will identify it easily. I will notch it. So this is the front, this is the upper part of my dress. I went ahead to cut the main fabrics with the lining and I've joined it. You already know how to join the center front to the side front. So I've joined it together. The next thing I'll do is to iron. Iron properly, open the sewing part of the front part, iron it very well. Make sure you iron your dress very well. So that's how I'll go ahead and iron all the parts. I'll iron the two sides. So this is it. So I'll go ahead and take my final trimming for my dress. I already taught you how to trim your dress before now in my previous videos. So that right there is my chest line, which is 8 inches. I will connect it to the armhole parts. So I'll take my bust measurements. I will add 1.5 inches for sewing allowance. So this is my final trimming. It's just very simple, just to fold your dress, then take your measurements. So from there I will go in by 0.75 inch for my front part. That's the front part of my dress. I've done this in so many of my videos. So I also trim the front part, the lining. So this is the main fabrics. So I'll go ahead and trim the lining part. So I'm going to show you the way I cut the keyhole with the lining part of my dress. So just watch out. So this is the lining. So I came down by 1.5 inches from the previous 3 inches for my neckline. So I came down by 1.5 inch. So from there I went in by 4 inches. So from my chest line I went up by 1 inch. Can you see that? From my chest line, which is 8 inches, I came up by 1 inch. Then from the former 3 inches of my neckline, I came down by 1.5 inches. So I will connect both lines. So the total depth of my dress is 7 inches. So I will now create a curve, a sweetheart curve for my keyhole. I don't want it to be straight. Can you see that? That is a sweetheart curve. So look at what I'm going to do. Just watch. This is how I created it. Can you see? I didn't cut it from the straight line where I came down by 1.5. So I created a curve again. When you look at the dress, you will see the effect of this curve I'm creating here. If you look at the dress very well, at the front part, so I'll go ahead and cut it. Can you see it? Can you see? So this is how I created the sweetheart keyhole. It's very, very simple. So this is the main fabrics. So I'll go ahead and turn it with the lining. Just watch how I'm going to turn it. These main fabrics. Can you see? So this is the main fabrics and the lining. Just watch how I'm going to place it. Can you see that? I will match it. I'll match all the parts. So I'll go ahead and sew it. I'll sew it round. I'll match all the opening side with the fabrics and the lining. I'll go ahead and sew it round. Then after sewing, I will now stop stitch on the lining. Then I will go ahead. Always remember to notch all the parts you sew on. Just notch, because if you don't notch, you won't be able to turn it. It won't come out well. So I'll now push the lining inside. Just watch what I'm doing. Can you see? Can you see? I've top stitched on the lining. Can you see how beautiful this is? This is so beautiful and unique. So I will trim out all the excesses. You know, anytime you turn any dress with a lining, anytime you turn with your lining, there would be excesses from the lining. So this is the down parts. I've torn it with the lining. I turned the down parts. So I will now top stitch on it. You see, you know, the lining, the main fabrics is 1.5 inches longer than the lining. Always take note. Your lining and your main fabric should not be the same measurement. So my lining is 1.5 inches shorter than the main fabrics, so that when you turn it, it will now align. So iron after turning it. This is how I turn my skirts. I don't fold them out. So this is the upper part and the front part. I've taken my darts. Make sure your darts, the upper part of your dart and the down parts, make sure they match. Can you see? So this is how I'm going to stitch. I'm going to join it. I'm going to join the upper part and the down part. Can you see that? So I will stitch. So this is the back part. I will do the same thing to it. Can you see? Both the zip allowance of the upper part and the down part, they match both the darts. So make sure you sew your dress. Make sure it's accurate. Be very, very calculative with whatever you're doing. Anytime you're cutting and sewing your dresses to make it professional. So this is my sleeve. I actually created this sleeve myself because it's my birthday dress. Let me just put it like that. So I decided to make something different for myself. So the length of this sleeve is about 22 inches and about 30 inches width. So this is how I created the sleeve. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll just pleat it. I pleated about 3. Yes, that is 3 times. Can you see? So I'll go ahead and stitch it. I'll go ahead and stitch on it. I'll stitch it straight. The way I pleated it, I will stitch it straight. See the way I'm putting pin on it. So that's how I'm going to stitch it. Just watch and see. I just wanted something different for myself. So I decided to do this for this dress, and I hope you love the sleeve. It's very, very beautiful. So I will stitch. You see where my hand is? That's where I'm going to stitch all of them. Can you see I've done that? So I'll iron it. I will iron it. You know, the sleeve has a band. So just watch and see how I attach the band to it. So after ironing, that's the 3 slits I made. You can do more than that if you have enough fabrics. So I will gather one side and pleat one side. Can you see what I'm doing? So I will pleat the side I'm going to attach the band to. That will be the down part of my sleeve. But the shoulder part, I'm going to gather it. Can you see what I'm doing? You see that? You can decide to create anything on your own. As a designer, you have to be very creative. So I just thought of something different for my dress, so I came up with this. So I'll gather it. I'll gather the shoulder parts. As a designer, whatever you create, whatever you think of can be very beautiful, in as much as you did it, you sew it well. So can you see the band? So the shoulder parts, I gathered it. Can you see? So this is my turtleneck. This is how I'm going to cut out. This is my collar gum. So it's just very simple. I also have a tutorial. I think I've done a tutorial on how to create this neck. I'll check if I've not. So I'll go ahead and do a tutorial on how to do this. Can you see? It's very simple. So I'll pick a fabrics. Yeah, that's my round neck. See what I'm going to do? I'll place my collar gum on top of a fabrics. I will sew on it. I'll sew on it to hold it. Then after sewing on it, I will now fold. Yes, I will now cover it with the fabrics. Can you see? So I'll go ahead and stitch it. Can you see I've done that already? So I'll pick another fabrics, another pieces. So I'll go ahead and stitch this on it. See how I'm going to stitch it? Just watch my hand. Can you see that? So I've done that already. So I'll notch on it. Make sure you notch so that it will always be easier for you to turn. Please guys, whatever you don't understand in this tutorial, always let me know in the comment section. I'll be right there to answer to your questions. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so very much and God bless you. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. And don't forget to let me know whatever you want me to, whatever you're finding difficult in your sewing, just let me know whatever it is. I will create out time to give you a tutorial on it. So I'll go ahead and iron. Can you see that? So I'll trim out all the excesses. So I'll go ahead and attach it to the main dress. So I've joined the dress together, the side and everything. So from the inside, I will now attach the neck of my dress. So I'll stitch it. After stitching, I will now top. So I will first of all stitch. After stitching, after attaching the neck, I will go ahead and face my zip. Can you see what I'm doing? So I face the sleeve. So this is what the dress look like, and it's very, 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 very beautiful. When I mean beautiful, this dress is beautiful. Can you see that? Can you see the joining part? Everything match. Always make sure that your joining is mashed together. Some people, they're joining one side will be up and the other side will be down. So make sure you trim your dress so very well so that one part will not be longer than any part. It's very, very, very necessary. Some people look out for it. Some customers, just to know how good you are. There are some customers that can fish out anything, that they just look for a fault in your work. So make sure you are very careful whenever you're making a dress for all those sophisticated customers, all those madams, you know now. So this is what the dress look like. So this is my slits. The dress has a slit at the back. Please guys, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much and God bless you. See you in our next video and bye for now.